Okay, 6.6, so it's our last lesson for you guys. So Gold Day, study guide, and review we'll do on Tuesday. Your test will be on Thursday. This is the first, big assignment for fourth quarter, and you get it right off the first week. So if you do bad on this test, that's really going to mess up your grade. All right, so number one, it's kind of looking at taking what we did with the equations and applying that to a situation, okay? So the local radio station is located at the coordinates 5, 2, and has a broadcasting radius of 140 miles. Your house is located at negative 95, 81. Write the equation. Okay. Do we have the center? What would the center be? Yes. So this is your center. Oops, I don't want that. Center. What was the radius? 140. Okay, so that's all we need to plug in. So take 30 seconds and try to plug that in to the circle equation. Okay, so first parenthesis. Josh, what should the first one say?
X minus 5 squared.
Good. Plus. Riley, what's the second parenthesis going to say?
Y minus 2 squared.
So since these were both positive, it's opposite when we plug it in there. Okay, and then 140 squared was what?
19,600.
Yes, 19,600. Okay, will your house pick up the station? If the radius is 140, you don't have to draw this picture. I'm just showing you what it's talking about. Okay, here's the radio station. And the radius is 140. That's from any direction, okay? So your house basically has to be within that circle. But
You don't have to draw that, she said.
if we don't really have a way to graph negative 95, 81, blah, 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 that would be a huge piece of graph paper. What can we do instead to see if it's within that area? If I want to find how far it is from there. What would I do? Distance, yes. Okay, so I'm looking at this coordinate and this one. So you're not going to be able to use the number line to see how far apart they are. You can subtract them if you want to be certain or if you're not sure. Be careful on this one. So 5, the x values, 5 and negative 95 are how far apart? 100. Okay, and then 2 and 81, so remember you can subtract them. How far, or subtract 2 and 81? 79. Remember, it doesn't matter if those are negative or positive, because if we square them, negative's going to cancel out anyways. All right, this one I do want to go ahead and do it as a decimal. I don't want to leave it radical because it's if I say something is square root of 90 away, we don't really know what that means, right? So give me a decimal on this. So finish that up there. Okay, what did we get? All right, so that means if the radius goes from here out to 140, is 127, that's 127 miles or whatever. Is that within 140?
Yeah.
Yes, so then it would work. What's an example of something that wouldn't work?
141.
Yeah, anything over 140.
140.1.
Yes, technically. Might be fuzzy. Okay, second one is really similar. So I want you to take 2 minutes and try this one. 2 minutes.
X minus 1.
Yes, so first x minus 1 squared plus, Clayton, what's the second parenthesis?
Y minus 2.
Good. And then last we do radius squared. So what number are you going to be squaring?
15.
And that was good. Quick note here on the test, I think it looks like this. So the square parts I give you there, that you would be type in the blank part. So you get the parentheses and the squared and the plus. You just have to type x plus 2, x minus 2, yada yada. Okay? Quick note. Okay. Now we need to find the distance from the center to your house. Okay. So x values are 1 and 10. How far apart are those? 9. And then 11 and 2 are how far apart? Also 9. Okay, type the whole thing in because since we're talking distance or like mileage, we want it just as a decimal, not a radical, okay? Oh, square root of 162, yes. And it 12 point, okay, let's go 12.7 then. So 12.7 would be your distance. So will they deliver to your house? Yes, because it's less than what number? Yep, good. Okay, so from this equation, we can know the center. So let's write the center. No. So what's the x value? 4. So remember, it's the opposite. What's the y value? Okay, and then we can also know the radius. And why is it 9? What did we do to get that? Square root it. So the square root of 81 is 9. So 9 is r. So you have those. Those are going to be important. So I know that it doesn't specifically ask us for those yet. That's where we're going to get. So find the radius by taking the square root of 81 in this case. Now we're going to use that. So if you look here at the bottom, this is kind of what your homework and your test will ask for. So did they give us the area from this equation? No, but if we have the radius, what do we do to find the area now? So a equals pi times the radius is 9 and square that. So pi times 9 squared, and then write your answer right here. That'll be the area for circle A. You will have to round this to the nearest 10.
254.
Yes. So the 254.5. That's the area of circle A. So from the equation, you can find the center, which we'll use in a little bit, and the radius. So any questions on that so far, where something came from, etc.? Okay, so now it says circle B has an area that is 3 times larger than circle A. Find the radius of circle B. Before we can do that, we have to find the new area. So if this is the area of circle A, and B's is 3 times larger, what would I do to that? Multiply by 3, or times by 3. So I'm going to take 254.5 times 3.
763.
I got 763.5.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So that would be my second answer. Okay, and then lastly, find the radius of circle B by using the area formula and solving for r. So this is like that. They give you the area is this, find the radius. So this is our area, 763.5. It says use the area formula. So that is my area. What is the formula that I set it equal to? Pi r squared, and solve for r. So in this equation, what do you do to solve for r? Divide by pi first. Let me know what that is. 243.
Exactly. Wow.
Like 0.0 something? Is that right? Okay. So if that's r squared, am I done? What do I do to finish it? Square root. So the square root of 243. 15.6. I'm going to write both answers here. I'm going to say the square root of 243 or 15.6. So that's the toughest part. Any questions there? Because I know it's not so much like the math part isn't hard, it's just where is everything coming from? So questions? right, let's do B then. So it says, write the equation of circle B, assuming that circle B shares a center with circle A. All right, so look at our original equation up there, the x minus 4, blah, blah, blah. If circle B shares a center, what side of the equation is going to be the same, the left or the right? The left. So you can just take the whole left side of this equation and copy it down because they have the same center, and these represent the center. Okay, so I'm just going to do x minus 4 squared plus
Why?
less 3. Good. Also, we already wrote the center. So we wrote it here. All right, but the right side will not be the same. We have to use the new radius. So you have two options. The reason I wrote the square root of 243 is because that would be your quickest way. Because if you square this, what would you get for your radius squared? 243. That's going to be quickest. If you do 15.6 squared, what does that give you? I think it's a little bit different. What? 0.4 then. Okay. All right, so a little bit different if you square this. I would accept either, just showing you where 243 is going to be quicker. But all right, questions on that part? Okay, last part here. This is a little bit of a throwback probably to algebra or to Unit 2, whichever. It says circle B is moved 3 units right. And let's write the center down. What was the center? 4, -3. Which of those is the x value? 4. Y is -3. Okay, so if it moves 3 units right, does that affect your x value? So think about a graph. X value or y value? X. And if I move to the right, so on a graph, is right the positives or negatives? Positive. So if you read this first line, x values of the center change by going left, you would subtract. If they go right, you add. So we are going to add 3 to which number? The 4. So my new center has an x value of what? 7. Now y values of the center change by going, if they say it's going down, you're going to subtract. Up, you're going to add. So what did this one do? 5 units up. So I'm adding 5 to -3, which is 2. Ooh, sorry. Okay, now the equation. Same thing here. I can copy one part of the equation I just wrote. What did not change from this equation up here? The radius. So the right side can stay the same. What's the left side going to be now, though? -7 squared plus. And then the right side will be 243, or if you did the 15.6 squared, 243.4. Oops. Either one. Okay. Quick note on that. Make sure you find the center first. Do not do just where you like add to this number, because it's the opposite of that. So make sure you find the center first. Okay, and this page, you are going to try this. Let's do two minutes. I just want you to do A right now. Okay, so get as far as you can on A. I know it's a little like there's a lot going on, so think about where you get stuck and what you have questions on. 2 minutes. Okay, so let's check in. So start and just pick out the center. Who can tell me the center? 7, 4. So they both look like negatives here, so they're opposite. Okay, now the radius is not 49. What do we do to get the radius? square root. So that makes the radius equal 7. All right, now you can find the area. So for circle A, I would say A equals pi times, 7 squared, which we already know is 49. So if you want to do pi times 49, that's fine. You do need to round this. So that comes out to,
Just about 153.9.
yes, 153.9. Okay, difference with this one is it's 4 times larger. The last one was 3, so just take this answer times 4. Okay, and that gives me 615.6. Is that what you guys got?
Yep.
If you didn't clear your calculator, it will give you slightly different. Okay, and then to get the radius, so for circle, I'm on circle B now. This is the area. How do I get the radius? What do I do to that? This is technically what it's equal to. I have the area. How do I solve that? What? Divide by pi. And a lot of people ask, like, do I round that to the, I think, what was it, 195.9 something, right? So that is, yes, you do round that to 196. And we're going to take the square root to get rid of the r squared. So what's the square root of 196? 14. This radius should come to a whole number on your homework and the test, okay? So if that doesn't come to a whole number, you might have rounded wrong. Okay, B, write the equation of circle B, assuming this circle B shares a center with A. So let's go ahead and actually let's do 2 minutes. I want you to finish B and C. Raise your hand when you're done. Okay, if circle B shares a center with A, which side of the equation am I going to keep the same? The left. So x minus 7 squared plus y minus 4 squared. Welcome. All right, so that is exactly from this equation here. Okay, I just copied that down because they have the same center, so that doesn't change the left side. But now, the radius is 14. So I need to square 14 and put that here. So that should give you 196. Okay? All right, please watch closely on C. I cannot subtract 5 and 2 from 7 and 4 because 7 and 4 are not the center. So if you do not have your answer yet, make sure you're looking up here. So you need to write down, what is the center of B before it's moved? Should be the opposite of what's plugged in. 7
And
4.
4.
Okay, if it's moved 5 units left, does that change your x, your 7, or the 4, which is the y?
Basically subtract 5 from 7.
Subtract 5 from 7. So that gives you 2. And then also 2 units down. So that will change the 4 to also 2. Okay, now which side of the equation does that change? The left or the right? The left, because the left side talks about the center, the right side the radius. So I would say,
X minus 2 squared
Uh-huh.
plus y minus 2 squared.
good. And right side should be the same because this did not change the size. It just took it and like slid it on the graph. So then what's our radius squared? What?
Oh, 197.
That stays the same from your other equation. Okay. All right, so you will get a chance to have some homework time here. One thing, so if you look at the board here, read that. Be sure to submit 6.1 through 6.4 homework by Monday night. I moved the 6.5 homework to be due in 4th quarter, so if you have an F right now, it's because that's missing. It's the only thing on there. So But those others have to be in by then because third quarter grades are due. So I can't really push it all the way to test day. Most of you have them in, but just double checking, okay?